Hello, my name's Lillian, and we're here with Anresco and Vertosa with Harold Hahn, and we'd love to know a little bit more about Vertosa and how you got started.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity, Lillian. Welcome to Vertosa headquarters.
Thank you.
So Vertosa, we started nearly 5.5 years ago here in Oakland, California. And we, at the time, the industry doesn't have a stable ingredients, especially to be infused into beverages. And my background is an emotion chemist. I studied emotion my whole career. After I graduated from NYU, from PhD title in the emotion research, I came to the West Coast. I work for a company called Bio-Rad. And in Bio-Rad, we produce emotion for PCR. Well, with COVID, everybody knows PCR.
Yeah.
But PCR only tells you if you have COVID or not. It doesn't tell you how many COVID genes a patient has. And our division in Bio-Rad, we use emotion technology, and we can tell you how many target genes, such as COVID, the patient has. So it's a very absolute, accurate detection method, right, for diagnostics. So I've been there for 6 years, developing this emulsification oil for the ddPCR system. And then I was introduced to cannabis through a coworker in Bio-Rad. And I started my own journey of realizing the benefit and the magic of the plant. And I start to realize the world and society needs this plant, because just look at us, the stress and the anxiety, the unhappiness associated with the life and the technology around us. And I feel like this plant can help people. And this is where the idea of me coming into the industry started, but I didn't know where to start. What should I do? And when I meet industry people, meet my partners, and they said, okay, your background is emotion chemistry, and there is a huge need in the industry that there's a need for scalable, stable, and palatable cannabis emotion as an ingredient. So I think, okay, I think I should be doing this. And this is how we started.
Nice. And how many years ago was that?
That was 5.5 years ago.
5.5, nice.
Yes.
So you've seen the industry in different forms since that time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned you had an experience with cannabis that really made you want to go down this path. Are you comfortable sharing a bit about your first experience with cannabis?
Yeah, sure. Well, my first experience, similar to many other consumers, the first time you may get a little scared, or you didn't fully understand what is that experience entail. So I admit I have to try a couple times to get into, okay, this is what high feels like, right? In the beginning, I was educated that doing cannabis will potentially make you lazy, make you disengaged. But actually, I'm feeling more engaged. I'm feeling more energetic and more connected to the people around me, to the things around me. So I feel this is a huge benefit, not only for me, but for millions of consumers.
Yeah, and especially with being in the beverage space, I'm sure you've seen how people might be turning towards cannabis beverages versus other drink alternatives, such as like alcohol and stuff like that. Do you want to speak about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, in this society right now, for any ready-to-drink beverages, you can have two ingredients that will slightly change your mindset or consciousness. One is alcohol, one is coffee, right? And we love it, consumers love it.
Yeah.
But what is another alternative? And I think we are working towards you can pick up a can and can actually make consumer feel differently, right? I do feel, my personal example is, when I get drunk, I do things that, is out of ordinary. But when I feel elevated from cannabis, I start to connect things differently in my head and being more creative. And I can sense more the surroundings. So it really helped me.
I can see we've got a lot of different companies here that you guys are obviously doing a lot of business for. Do you want to speak about some of your partnerships within the industry for beverages?
Yeah, we start in California, here in Oakland. But our first expansion out of the California state is Canada. And you see quite some brands right here from Canada. This is 4 years ago where we started, and we witnessed the whole growth of the cannabis beverage industry in Canada. And then when the states becoming more open on the regulations, on the regulatory side, we see we actually support our clients in, I think now 18 different states, right? We put our equipment into the Pelican cases, and we can ship them to different states. So we can being really agile and flexible to support our clients in different states.
And that's just for the cannabis side, right?
It's for the cannabis side.
Yeah, because
yes.
You've got the hemp side of it all
yes.
as well.
Yes, I know you're going there. Yeah, the hemp side, yeah. And the hemp beverages, since last year, has been really turning the tide and giving a lot of accessibility to consumers throughout red states, blue states. And, in my opinion, everybody has pain and everybody need a little bit of healing.
And where do you kind of see things going with the industry, both for cannabis and for hemp? And what's your role as Vertosa in that development for the future?
Right. I do believe the beverages, the end goal is for mainstream acceptance. For mainstream to consumers to really trust and love the product, we as an ingredient provider, we're not the only player in the supply chain, but we take ourselves as really responsible to make sure consumer trust this category. So the work we do, it doesn't matter it's in the hemp or in the cannabis side, we have to work closely with our supplier who supply our input. And through our emotion, we have to work closely with the co-packers who produce those beverages. And of course, we have to work closely with the lab who can potentially give accurate and consistent results. So when you look at the whole supply chain, we want to build we want to verify each single element and make sure the consumer get the successful end product.
Yeah, it sounds like quality is of the utmost concern to you guys. Would you agree with that?
I won't say it's a concern, but definitely a focus.
Focus, yeah.
Focus, yeah.
And do you want to talk a little bit about how you ensure that quality for all the different types of brands and the different ingredients that go into those? Right.
For example, on the hemp side, we should really focus on the hemp denied input. And we have studies on if the input is converted, what kind of additional analytical tools we should run to ensure the input purity is high. And if the input is coming from naturally derived mother liquor, how we can ensure the consistency of the mother liquor's taste and experience from batch to batch. And for us, we have done many studies with packaging partners, with ingredient partners to ensure the can liner is up to par and our emulsion is compatible with the liner. And we have to work with co-packers closely because how do you introduce ingredients to make this can, and how do you control dissolved oxygen, and how do you do the label, how do you do the weighing? It all matters. All details come back to this final product. Last but not least is the testing. Mm-hmm. And we have seen the testing, not only the integrity of the lab, but also the testing method needs to evolve with the innovation of the industry.
Yeah, I know we've done a lot of different types of testing for you guys over the years. Do you want to speak a little bit about our partnership together, Lab to Vertosa?
Yeah. And first of all, I'm really proud to be working with a trusted lab partner such as Anresco. And this partnership has been going on for over 4 years. And we never been disappointed. The results, essentially what we need from the lab is care, accurate results in a timely fashion. And I think you guys met all the three. When we have issues, when we pick up the phone, we always know somebody is gonna be there to help us, to explain what happened. And the results is consistent. And funny thing is, when we go out to other states, when we try to evaluate the other labs in the other states, we always use Anresco data as this is the benchmark data we want to compare to. And okay, how far away is your data from Anresco's data? Mm-hmm. So that just says a lot about, our trust into Anresco for the data.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And we know partnerships are really important in this industry and can make all the difference. It sounds like you would agree with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The industry, like I said, the consumer needs to have this trusted product, and the consumer doesn't see all the details behind this can, and so many works behind each can needs to be coming together. I think that's where that's how Vertosa start to win the trust of our supply chain partners, because we put a lot of care into every can, and I feel the same with Anresco team. You guys put a lot of care. I'm
curious what your thoughts are on the different cannabinoids, regulations, and how to kind of bring that all together, since we all know it's really just one plant. Yeah. So what would you say about that, and how to move forward through all the crazy regulations and the growth of the industry in general?
Yes, I concur to that. Yeah, they are one plant. Cannabis and hemp is coming from the one plant. We artificially draw a line and draw two different systems, which created this chaotic situation we are in right now. But as an operator, we truly believe cannabis can heal and hemp can heal too. And that's why we created those beverages with our clients on both the cannabis market and hemp market. For example, the cannabis low-dose beverages, I believe they do have a place alongside with alcohol counterparts in the retail places, right? You can see that already happening in our culture right now. So I do believe we have a space here, and the regulation. I hope the regulators will realize that they are the same plant, and we should have a universal regulation rules to both systems. I hope that they will come earlier than later. I hope that is the legalization framework. But yes, to be
seen, right?
To be seen, yes.
And what about all the different cannabinoids? Because we know everyone kind of knows Delta-9 THC, and then there's hemp, which is just low dose, essentially, very low psychoactive potential with the 0.3% cutoff line. What about all the other cannabinoids? I know that they're out there and people are wanting to put them in all these new items like beverages. Are you seeing that in the beverage space?
Right here. This Wonder higher webs, they have 10 milligram THC and 10 milligram CBG, right? Mm-hmm. So brands are already leveraging the knowledge of different cannabinoids, can really give consumer a different experience. And I do want to see more clients, more innovations, and also research to prove, there is science behind it. And that's where I want to personally put more focus into research collaboration with universities to prove those claims.